Hey, welcome back to the channel. I'll try to make a restoration here on this watch. It's an old DW 5600, caliber 691. It's in pretty bad shape actually. These glasses used to be actual glass, as you can see here. It's not plastic. See? So what I want to do is to have it replaced by a new face here. See how this turns out. And this is not an original face for sure. It's an aftermarket one, but I think it's cute, it's nice, and it fits the watch indeed. Excuse me, I wasn't able to find the exact same model, the original crystal for this watch. The strap is in good shape though. This watch is from let me see here. I think it's from 1984. Not quite sure. Or no, 1987. It's pretty old, but the strap is still in good condition, so I'm gonna use the same strap. And let's see how that turns out. It's part of the speaker down here. That's the reason why there's no beeping sound coming out of the watch. See how solid this is. Done. I cleaned the whole thing. It's a pretty handsome case actually. And here's the movement. So the big challenge here will be as follows. Look, if you remember when you fit the movement into the case, see this little spring down there hits the speaker. So that's how you get actually the beep sound here. Beep, beep, beep every time you press a button. So the big challenge here will be to replace this front speaker. So I'm gonna put a speaker on this side of the case back. And like I said, the big challenge will be to make the spring come from the back actually of the watch. And I don't know how to do that, but we will figure that out. I'm not sure how to do that actually. I need to modify a little bit the movement. That's going to take a little while, but I'm going to do it anyway. Probably one of these pots here you see down there, probably that one can be used as a source for a speaker actually. Probably I'll have to stick a spring onto that little spot down there, little dot down there. As well, here is the new dial. There's a little problem. They are intended to fit a DW 5600E case and not the 5600C. These are a little smaller actually. So you can see here there's a tiny gap there between the case and the crystal. Tiny little gap. It's a beautiful dial. Actually, I like it a lot. I like it a lot actually. And I found here an old citizen, which is going to be the donor. So here you have the beeper. I need a suction cup to take it off actually because it's stuck in there. There you have it. Came out of the watch intact. So I'll try to stick the beeper onto the plate, the back case actually of the watch, and like I said before, I'll have to find out which of these dots there carries actually the alarm beeping sound there. So I need to fix a spring onto one of these little dots there, or maybe not. Maybe I'll have to find out which connection is attached to this spring down here and get it off from the other side actually. It's a handsome movement. Very beautiful thing indeed. Oh, this one comes off as well. There. I don't want to disassemble the movement indeed. So here's something interesting. Look at this. So I'm gonna place the speaker on top of the watch here. This is one side of the speaker and that one clips onto the other side. I want to put the speaker this way and look at this. Look at this, hear this. You hear that? It's a little faint, but does work actually. So the watch is working, and so is the speaker, the beeper here. So I just need to find a way to place it from the back actually, not from the top. So it turns out the beeper spring you see down here is connected to the other side of the plate. Right here. Right here, there's a little tiny dot there. So let me zoom in, this one right here. So I want you to see what happens when I bridge both ends, actually, the spring and this end right here. So I'm gonna hold it down here. So I'm gonna use my third hand to hold it, and so I'm gonna place one end of the tester. So look what happens if I join both ends. You hear that? You get a beep. So I'm gonna place one on top of the spring. Amazing. So that proves actually that this side is connected to this side. I mean, it's the same connection. So I want you to see what happens when I test actually the beeper. I'm gonna place the beeper down here. This is the alarm mode. So eventually if I press this button, what should happen is the alarm should go off. And let me try to press here at the same time. See? So actually, I need to manage, because one end here, this is the positive end, will be touching the positive end of the battery. So this is the alarm mode. This is the button that I need to press so that it goes off, and then press the button. I close the circuit. Yep, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take, actually, we're gonna place there the spring, and we're gonna close the circuit, and life will be beautiful again for this watch. So this is the dot we need to connect the spring onto. So how to do that? I found here an old battery holder. So what I'm gonna do, so I'm gonna try to cut this piece here. Excuse me. And I'm going to place this part onto, I'm gonna hold it by using the screw down here. So I'm gonna screw it onto the plate. See there, there's a little indentation which will protect the spring from going sideways and hitting the battery. We don't want the spring to touch the battery actually, because that would close the circuit and that would cause a short circuit. So this is the plastic part that I made. Let me see if we can fit it in there. I'm gonna unscrew the screw, and then I'm gonna screw it back in onto the plate here, the plastic plate, so as to hold it into place, stick it onto the module. Let me show you how to do that. So I managed to place the plate here and secure it using the screw down there. As you can see, you have the contact in there. However, there's a little tiny bit of it, little piece of it, coming into the battery slot down here. So I need to work it out, and I need to cut this little section, as you can see. But the problem is that then the spring will come in contact with the battery, so I need to secure a cylinder coming out of the other plate, actually. Let's see how that turns out. So I managed to pass the spring through. So now it's in touch with the little dot there, the positive dot there. And now let me show you what happens if I stick the plate onto the watch. It's working. It's working. So after a few unfruitful trials, I've decided to stick there a cable. I soldered here a cable on top of the plate, and actually it turned out pretty well. Super solid fix, actually. Look at this. You can see here, on the side there, and it's actually isolated because it's not coming in touch with like the battery or the plate itself. You hear a beep. So now if you connect this side of the cable and the positive part of the watch here, there's no contact. But if you come close to the, well, actually if you touch the other end, you get a clear sign of contact there. So everything's fine. What I'm going to do is that I'm going to fix this little spring, see, around the cable down there. And here is the outcome. As you can see here, the bezel is on, the strap is on. It's a pretty old strap though, but it's in good shape anyway. So you can see here the buckle, the keeper, and it's about to break at that point down there. But the strap is still flexible and there's no problem. The back case is sealed. I fit, as you know, I fit a DW 5600E bezel onto the C version of this watch, and when you do that here, you will see actually a big gap on the side tab there, the edge of the bezel actually. So probably dust and sweat and all that stuff will accumulate over time in there, in the little gap there. So you need to remove the bezel and clean it and all that stuff, but I don't know, I think it's a good outcome actually. It's a beautiful, beautiful dial. And everything is working in order. Look at this. So the alarm down there, if you press this button down here, you test the alarm goes off. So you're testing the functionality of the alarm, and then you move on to the dual time, the timer, stopwatch, back to the time mode down there, the month, the day of the week down there, and the time. And remember that this watch has a so-called REM function, so if you press this button down there, the REM goes off, and it reminds you actually of, so the purpose of this thing is not clear to me, but as far as I'm aware, like if you had anything to do, something to do during the day, it was like a sort of reminder. So you had to call someone, you had to call mom, you had to call your son, whatever. It's a beautiful watch. And I liked the outcome indeed. I like the dial. I think it's a pretty good watch indeed. And thanks for watching. See you in the next one.